since I was appointed the permanent secretary for this ministry, I recognized that I would have had an uphill task to fix what is our operational capacity in keeping with the mandates of the ministry. After doing a hasty assessment by myself, I recognized that there were a number of weaknesses as it relates to our structure, as it relates to our manpower need, selection and staffing, as it relates to our manpower development strategy, as it relates to the capacity of our staff to deliver the basic program of the ministry as it relates to youth work. As if to say it was my birthday and I was given a gift, I met with the UNDP rep, Trevor Clark, and Monica a short while after. And from our discussions, they recognized what is some of our fundamental problems. They recognized that the ministry was lacking in proper capacity as it relates to youth work and delivering youth work. And right away, when we review what can possibly be done to correct all of that, they thought that readily they can get consultants to come in and do a quality review after consultation with some of our key stakeholders, some of our key players, some of our staff, and maybe come up with a quality assessment that would have pointed us to maybe opportunities that exist already here in the ministry to maybe offer quality opportunities for youth development, and or maybe point to some areas of weaknesses that we can work on maybe to strengthen over time so that we are up at the right speed or right quality to deliver our services. That was done, and I should tell you that the findings there were in keeping with what we expected. Staff members were all out there and can be sure of what it is they were supposed to do, and that's basic. If you don't know what you're supposed to do, I don't know you know how to do it. And if you don't know what you do, what were you supposed to do, how to do it, I can't be sure what you're doing. I can't tell you that there would have been an impact made by any of our field officers given all of that. So we thought fundamental and key to this process must be to review what is our strategy to come up with a work plan so that all the field officers can be guided. At the end of that process, we're hoping too that we can also come up with what is capacity development strategy so that all our key players and stakeholders can be brought in, can be taken through a process, through quality experiences which will modify their behavior and maybe enable them to deliver quality service in keeping with our expectations.
Thank you. What did the capacity assessment outline? What were the areas that you from the ministry realised as the priority areas that you needed to focus your
Basically, it was saying that here, maybe our structure is not the best structure for delivering the kind of youth services we want to deliver. Maybe the persons that we select as our staff members are not equipped enough and even provided with the right support to execute their fundamental responsibilities. Maybe they're lacking direction which is obviously lacking because of the absence of any tool or guide that they can use to execute their work. And I'm referring here to what is a youth strategy, a youth policy, what is a plan of action for youth officers that they can work with, what is clear target indicators and measurable outcomes. Those are all lacking. And if you know that that's lacking, then what it is you can use to measure their performance and in keeping with our direction in terms of our achievement generally. I don't know there's anything for that.
So, what I gather is that there was a need for an updating of the National Youth Policy.
Correct.
Also that there was capacity for planning and implementation within a results-based management framework. Capacity for monitoring and evaluation of activities and capacity for communications and knowledge capture. Can you discuss these areas further?
For example, if there's lacking a strategy and you're a part of the play of this in this game, I don't know there's any area you can zoom into and extract for your work program. So if there's lacking a policy, the general framework, within which we'd want to deliver youth services. I'm not so sure at any point in time we can look into that document, or we can look at some place and take out a series of activities that we can give youth officers to do. So that's fundamental, that's required, that's not quite there. And as it relates to communication needs, that has two elements. It has to do with, one, the players themselves, the youth officers themselves, the youth workers themselves, being equipped enough, being competent enough to communicate using all the various means available and accessible by them. And then it has to do with the equipment and the right support for them to effectively communicate what they're doing in both directions, with the people that they're targeting, and to report to the superiors as well. So that too is lacking in very many ways. Either support in terms of equipment, material, and in fact, office space, among other things, transportation needs, and so on and so on. And then their own ability and competence to use information technology, for example, to access information, to process information, to disseminate information, and to report.
So, following the analysis of the results, there is going to be a capacity development response. Can you inform or let me know or outline what are the details included in that?
Can you just pause? This is an
Also, yeah.
emergency.